Hello and welcome back to the channel. So I am doing another army showcase because that seems to be quite a popular thing. I've had a lot of people asking me about the armies I've got and stuff in messages, and I thought I'd show I like to call them Silver Skulls, but Silver Templars, Silver Skulls, Black Templars, whatever. I can use these as anything I want really. But these are the Marines from the Indomitus box, and what I did was basically when the box came out, I bought two boxes. One which I split with my friend, and he had the Primaris out of that set and the rulebook. I had the Necrons, and I got a set for myself as well. Basically, to kind of counteract some of the cost, I sold a few models from the Primaris set that I owned. Big regret. Didn't realise I'd like them this much. But these are the ones that I kept and the ones that I painted up. So what I'm going to do now is just show you what I've got, show you what I've done, and take you through the army that I'm building up slowly. So, never liked Primaris. When they came out, I thought they were absolutely horrible. They were gash, I just didn't want them. And slowly and slowly and slowly, they've slowly started being a little bit better. And now they're at a point where I'm like, I want Primaris. So what I'd done was chose a colour scheme that I wanted. I knew I wanted silver and black somewhere in there, so kind of just did what best I could with the ideas I had and came up with these chaps. So I've got you have to forgive me, I'm not too up to date with the names and stuff on these, but I've got this guy here. So I think he's a lieutenant or something, the Primaris lieutenant. So what I've done with him was, essentially, he was kind of my test model for the whole army. It's nothing spectacular, just basic paint job. I wanted to be able to use these in with my Grey Knights as well, which is kind of another reason why I wanted them silver, but a darker silver, so you could still tell them apart on the top of the table. Really, opted for some contrast colours, so I've got the bright blue and the red to kind of stand out a bit against the silver and black, because obviously silver is like 90% of this model. When it focuses, if I can get a focus, there we go. So what I did was started off with bolt gun metal. I don't know what's called now. I think it's lead belcher. Primed the whole model with a brush with lead belcher, because I did kind of want it a bit uneven in a way, so it did look like there was kind of a bit of damage here and there, so little bits of mist, a bit of the black undercoat was showing through, so it looks like it's been scraped off or dirtied up. Painted gold, so any details I could find, like the sword handles, around the edges of the shields, little bits hanging off the belts and things, and mainly the little symbol on the chest as well. Mainly that, which I wanted to do in gold when it focuses. As I thought this would be quite a nice colour to use as like a little focal point. So when you're looking at the model, it's not going to look like complete stark silver. You do see the gold on the chest plate. I opted for red as the focus colour on the weapons, because there is purity seals on the model, but not many. So I've got hair on there. So I just wanted a nice little basic colour to stand out, so I chose red for the weapons. Obviously all the leathers and belts and things are all just done in Mornfang brown, just washed black. I did do a little bit of an edge highlight, I don't know if that's showing up. You can probably see it a little bit better with what's it called now? I think it's called XV88. I just did a little bit of an edge highlight with that, and that is pretty much it. Did the white, the bleach bone on the purity seals, and yeah. So you got him. He's one of the models that I really loved out of the set. So obviously what I did was also cut all the pre-molded bits off the bases, so I hated the fact that these models all had precast pieces of rubble stuck to their feet and bits of Necrons here and there and whatever, so I cut them straight off and filed them down so I could have him so he's standing on a rock. So there's him. The second model that I painted was this Blade Guard guy. I think he is the lieutenant or the captain or something. Painted him up, so he's done it exactly the same way, except obviously he's got a bit more detail on the shield. I will go back and write on the purity seals and things at a later date when I do some more of them. I do have transfers for the arms as well, for the shoulder pads, but I am still waiting on what's the stuff called? It's like a softening thing for transfers. But you stick that on, it softens them down so you can actually bend them around things rather than having to cut them and all that kind of stuff. So they'll be getting kind of like skull decals from the Chaos Space Marine set, but they're not going to be obviously Chaos, so just one of the skull based things, so I can use them as Silver Skulls or Silver Templars and things like that. The next one I painted was this chap. I have done quite a few minor conversions on these, so I've actually changed the head on this guy, and he has a Grey Knight's head that I had in my bits box. I wanted him to have more of a facial detail. Ooh, dropped it. Instead of having the helmet. Was that not focusing? But yet again, I say he's got red on his gun. He's got obviously the gold on the Crozius and stuff like that. All the purity seals on the back. But as I said, I've done several little minor conversions to these. So I've changed heads, swapped arms and things. They're not that hard to convert when you kind of look a little bit deeper into them. And obviously I'm really happy with how his face turned out. If I can get a close up of his face. Tried to do a little bit more detail on his face. And obviously I used green for the bionic guy. But so he's painted exactly the same way as the others. The one that I did convert a little bit was this chap. So everyone knows he has a flat sword. I thought that looked absolutely crap. All I did was lay it flat down on the bench, chopped it into a point with a knife, and then just proceeded to file away at it, really. Let's just keep going out of focus. I keep my hand behind, there you go. I did blue on the little timepiece thing he's got with a little bit of gloss varnish over it. Changed their head as well from one of the other models, just did a quick head swap. But he's done pretty much in the same way as well, so he's all wearing black. Black clothes. I purposely went for a matte black colour for the cloth because I didn't want it to be shiny. I wanted it to kind of have like a dull tone so it doesn't take a lot of focus away from the shininess of the armour. It worked out quite well, I think, in a way. I will probably go back at some point and do some more highlights on the cloths because I did just do a basic grey edge highlight just to kind of break it up a little bit, but nothing too major. But yeah, so this guy's the one that's got the most cloth on him, and obviously he's wearing like robes. So I painted this guy. This is the guy that I'm really, really happy about. He came out probably the best out of my entire lot. I was really happy with how the cloth turned out. The skeleton on top was just a quick little dry brush over the top of just a black, and then washed the whole model, and then just did some selective highlights. But say he was on another pre-molded base, and cut him clean off and just had it so he's standing now on a rock instead. But I think he was probably like the most favourite model that I had in the set, and the one that I really wanted to have a stab at after I did this guy here. I do have another 5 of the Assault Primaris guys, but they're not currently built, as I've had a lot of work on lately, so they've just been sitting in a box. They are all cut off their sprues and ready to be glued together and stuff, and they've all been cleaned up. Because I'm planning, in the future, to do a video, which I think, I've seen a lot of them on YouTube, and I think they look quite fun. I'm going to do an army in 24 hours. So what I'm going to do is build my entire Necron army, which is like 2 boxes worth of the Indomitus box. And then I'm going to sit and I'm going to paint the entire army in a 24-hour stretch, with obviously breaks to go to the toilet, get some food and stuff. But I'm literally going to sit and I'm going to paint non-stop for 24 hours and see how far I can get and see if I can get a tabletop army done in 24 hours. Yeah, I think that'd be quite an interesting little thing to do. But so I've just got to finish off another 5 of these guys. So I've got 5 of the Assault, whatever McCallums. This guy I did convert up a little bit because I didn't like how he was in the box. So what I did was I think I converted his arm, so he now has a proper marine arm with a bionic hand instead of a full bionic arm. Obviously, I gave him the chainsaw on his waist instead of giving it to his hand. And what I did was cut the hand off one of the other spare hands that I had, and used a Grey Knight's hand with a pointing finger. So he's now basically like showing go forward. I think he's worked out quite well actually for just a basic little conversion of like a few hand swaps and what have you. I didn't want the de-helmeted head for all my Marines, so what I'm only doing is for special characters, they will have de-helmet, like basically have fleshy heads, but normal Marines are going to be helmeted. So this guy lost his arm about 10 minutes ago. He fell on the floor, broke off, but so I've got him just jumping over the top of a rock. Simple, but quite effective. The helmets as well, obviously you'll notice that the helmets are a slightly different silver. So what I did was I took all the helmets, cut them all off separately, kept them on their little bits of sprue, stuck them to just a crappy little 30mm base that I've got, and then I painted them black with a rattle can, and then I painted on this colour, Vallejo Steel Model Air. So what I did was I literally painted this on, as you can see, I've written Silver Skull's helmet colour on here, so I know which one it's got. I've got about 4 different types and they all look the same. I just painted this on with a brush, and it went on very, very smooth, no issues. And as you can see, it does kind of give the helmet a nice little bit of contrast against the other like bolt gun metal that I used. Got these guys as well. Wasn't very keen on these to start with. Obviously, I will drill out the gun barrels at a later date, but I can't be asked at the minute. Wasn't too impressed with these guys. Then I built them, and they grew on me. They literally took about 5 minutes to paint. All silver. Did some black details on them. Painted all the little leather pieces and stuff. Obviously, the helmets were done separately, the same as the Marines. Painted the weapon red, which was even easier, and yeah, jobs are good. And I got 3 of those. I am going to hopefully get another box of the Indomitus Marines when the prices go down a little bit, because obviously people are asking about 60 quid for them at the moment, and I'm hoping to get one for about 40, maybe more, maybe 50, because I do want the bikers. I regret selling them, but they did make me like 30 quid, so I did essentially get a box and a half's worth of models for essentially free, because when I sold bits from them, I kind of made my money back, which I was quite happy about. I do have another model which I can include, but he will predominantly be in my Grey Knights army that I've got. I painted. He's been sitting on my desk for ages. I was going to paint him up for Golden Demon, but then I just really kind of lost all motivation to do him. So I just finished him off quickly, stuck him on a base when I was doing the bases for all these. And yeah, he's done as a Death Watch chaplain. But I will be using him as a Grey Knights chaplain in the future. It's nothing spectacular, because I got about halfway through and I was just like, I really can't be asked for this. So I just slapped a bit of paint on to finish him off, and jobs are good and ready. So I've got him to... Obviously he is a lot smaller, but I wouldn't mind getting a couple of normal Space Marines for the army in the future, really. But yeah, as I say, this is my little Primaris army that I'll be building up slowly over the next year, just adding boxes here, there, and everywhere. So I'll probably get a couple of boxes. I think they call interceptors or inceptors or something like that. The normal bolt gun guys, and then some. What are they called? I'm really not up to date with Primaris names. They're just so random for me. Basically, the tactical guys that have the heavy plasma guns, I'll get a box of those as well, just to add a bit of fire support, and probably a tank. But these are just done as kind of like a little fun break between models. These took 2 days to paint, which obviously for me, doing like full-time commissions and things, painting in between jobs is kind of like a little palate cleanser for me. I've just finished a massive Grey Knight army for a customer. That was easily probably about 5,000 points worth. That took me nearly 3 weeks to do, so just little palette cleansers between jobs is quite needed to kind of stop myself going a bit crazy. So these were just a quick little palette cleanser in between painting. What did I paint? Can't remember what I painted now. Oh yeah, I was doing some bits and pieces for an orc army for a bloke. I was like Death Skull orc, so they were fun to paint. But 2 days worth of work on these. I assembled them at night, about 2 o'clock in the morning. I think I assembled them all, whilst my other half was asleep. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how they turned out. They're really nice models. You know, Games Workshop does kind of impress me with these boxes that they produce. But my main reason, obviously, for getting this box was the Necrons, because I am a big Necron player, and I absolutely adore Necron. So having a new Necron army is going to be really cool, because my old Necron army, which I will do an army showcase for next week probably, as it's 3 shelves worth of my IKEA cabinet. There is a lot of models. They have been with me since day 1 release. So I love Necrons. They'll always have a little soft spot in my heart. And when I'm doing my Necrons version 2.0, they're all going to be painted completely different. They're going to have loads of battle damage. I'm probably going to base them on the same base setup I do for all my 40k. That way I can intermingle armies and what have you. But yeah, these are going to be a nice little addition to what I'm going to start with Primaris, really. I want to get into the 40k competitive scene again. 9th edition is going to be the way for me, I think, to get back into the game. And I'm probably going to use these as my go-to army with my Grey Knights. So, yeah, I think I'll wrap the video up before I start rambling about stuff. But I hope you enjoy this video. These are my Grey Knights, and I opted for a different camera setup this time, so it's not as shaky as my last one. But yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I can bring you some updates in the future on these. And yeah, thank you for watching. Happy wargaming, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.